Welcome to the first video of my Artful Christmas series. This is a tutorial for making simple paperclay heart ornaments that can be used to decorate your own home or given as a gift this holiday season. In the video, I make 3 different ornaments to show you fun options for decorating them. These are incredibly customizable and a fun craft for anyone at any skill level. You're going to take a big piece of aluminum foil and you're really going to have to forgive all the noise. You're basically going to gather it this way, and this can be loose, it's totally fine, like about that loose. And then from the 2 ends, you're going to start wrapping inward. You see how that's created kind of like a heart? So now this is your opportunity to mold it the way that you want to. These hearts are going to be pretty big since we're going to have this inside to them. Optionally, you don't have to do the inner structure and you can just make small hearts. I've done that many times and they've turned out just fine if you only use the clay. But this is about the size that I want my heart. Make sure you look at it from all angles and see if you're satisfied. So I don't have masking tape, but I do have this tape, which I will use. And basically, I just want to create a more smooth texture on this aluminum foil, or else it'll be a little bit harder to apply the paper clay. So your next step, once you have your heart structure and you're really happy with it, again, I like the irregularity that the aluminum foil creates. The fun part of this to me is the texture that's going to be on your heart. It will not be a perfect heart. If you wanted a perfect heart, then I'd suggest rolling out your clay and using a cookie cutter to cut it out. And that actually works fabulously. I have done that before, and you could just use a straw or something round to poke a hole in the top of it so that you could string something through it, but obviously it would be much flatter than this, and you just let it lay flat. So if you want a perfect, as close to perfect as you can get ornament, I'd say go that route. If you want one with a little bit more character, go this route. So you're going to take your wire, here, and I want it to be pretty long because I'm going to shove it from the top down into the middle, and this is going to be where we're going to hang this ornament from. It's going to give us a little hook right there. So let's see, I don't want it to be too long that it goes outside of the heart, so we'll just try this, and if it's too long we can take it out and cut it down again. Alright. Okay. So our next step is to cover this in clay, and since we've put this in to begin with, the clay is going to help hold it in place. So there is the heart, and what I would do at this point is I would lay it on a flat, smooth surface, and it will dry probably overnight. So on this first heart, I decided to use watercolor because I love watercolor on paperclay. It's still a little bit transparent, and I just think it looks really elegant. So I just did this little pattern of greenery and some red berries, and then I ended up just painting a word on. This is something that I really enjoy doing. You could, instead of the word joy or peace or something seasonal, you could put someone's name or initial. And give it to them as a personalized gift or your own last initial and put it on your tree. I think that would be really sweet. So the second heart is a mixed media version. Here I am cutting out a phrase from book pages that I have from my Little Women book. I just found a phrase that I really liked and that I wanted to put on the front of my heart. So I cut that out and set that aside. And then next you'll see me tearing these pages into pieces and Mod Podging them onto the actual heart. And then once I Mod Podged all of it on and covered the whole heart in these book pages or pieces of book pages, I let that dry and then I put a white gesso over it. And I love gesso rather than the acrylic, like a white acrylic paint, because it allows some of the words to still stick through, and that's what I really wanted. I wanted this layered effect. And what is not shown at the end of this is that once I had glued the phrase on that I liked, I let that dry and made a wash of a brown acrylic paint and water, and I put that over the heart and then used a paper towel to kind of wash it off, and it kind of gave it a distressed look. And then once I did that, I used some gold ink that you would normally use for like a calligraphy pen, and I put polka dots on it. So again, this is totally up to you how you decorate this heart, but this was my interpretation of a mixed media, kind of rustic, not so rustic, I don't know what you would call it, heart. And I really, really love how this one turned out. I thought it was sweet and simple. And this last heart is just done in acrylic paint. This is something very normal for me. I love floral patterns, and you've seen a previous video in which I did something very similar, but this was kind of me doing what I enjoyed the most. And again, it would be really cute if you put someone's name or initial on this. You could use it as a placeholder at your Christmas table or something like that. It can be a gift that you give a friend or even a tag on a gift.